Today we want to talk about how to set effective goals. I thought it'd be good to talk about since it's January. Most people like to set lots of goals around the month of January for that year. So today we want to help you in putting those goals together. Now, one thing that is really nice about goal setting is that being able to make sure that you have goals in place that are going to actually work. I mean, some people set goals in place, they don't do anything with them. Some people set goals in place that actually turn into something. They actually do work and are allowed to, they're able to work for them to help them accomplish things. So that's what we want to talk about today, is effective goal setting. Now, there is a actionable way of setting goals that is really effective, that can help you out. Many of you have heard of the SMRT method of setting goals. This is a really good method to use, in fact, in helping you with setting goals. So the SMART is actually an acronym to help you out with this. So let's talk about this just briefly. So to go over this, that means specific, measurable, actionable, realistic goals. Okay, so and time-based. So you want to have goals that are specific. You want to have goals that are measurable, meaning you need to be able to know that where you're at and here's where you want to go, and how do you know if you're getting there. So make sure that they're measurable goals. So, you know, things like I want to have inner peace or more peace in my life. Okay, so how exactly are you going to measure that? What is going to tell you that you have achieved that inside of your life? Hello, thanks for joining us. Actionable goals, so make sure that you can actually do something about it. You know, typically you want to set goals that you can control and work on. Setting goals that other people have to do aren't necessarily the best unless you can help them to accomplish those goals. Or I mean, team effort you can, but it's not like I'm going to set a goal for so and so to lose weight or something. You know, make sure that it's actionable for you, that you can actually do something about that goal. You could set a goal to say, I'm going to set a goal to watch all my TV online for free. Well, that might not actually happen because you can't. So make it actionable for you. Realistic is important too. That goes along with that actionable, I believe, in making sure that it is a realistic goal, that it is something that you can actually use that will help you in your life, and that isn't so crazy big goal that it's going to be a big mess and give you a hard time in putting it together. So realistic goals. You don't want to come up with some goals that are just totally crazy out there. It's good to stretch yourself, but not too far. Give yourself a good stretch, but just realize you want to be realistic. And time-based goals. Make sure that you can put a time frame to them as well. Have a deadline for it. Have that time frame that you can go through that'll help you in understanding when the deadline is, because that's really going to help a lot. If you set a goal to say, you want to reach a goal where you're doing so much, like in cells, number of cells or things like that, then what you want to do is set a deadline. Like, okay, I want to get my sales goals up to a certain point. I want to have so much in revenue in my business or things like that. Put a deadline to it. I want to have X number of dollars of revenue or X number in sales or whatever it is by a certain date, because that's going to help you to stay focused and motivated. So if you have questions about this, let us know. We'd love to answer those questions for you. But think about that as you go over those goals. Those are very important to cover. So take some time and sit down and really decide what is it that you want to accomplish in your business, and really think it through. I mean, where do you really want to go? What do you want to have happen in your business? So a good question that I highly recommend always asking when setting goals, because a lot of people just set goals and then they don't know how are we going about actually accomplishing that goal. What can we do to make that goal work? How is this going to actually turn into success for our business? So you want to make sure that it is going to work. So a great question to ask is this one here: what will you have when you achieve your goal? So this is more about focusing on the end result. A lot of people just focus on setting the goal, but what will you have by achieving it? What is the end result you're going to end up with? That is very important to help you. That's going to make a big difference in helping you really understand this goal. Because you could say, I want to have lots of sales, and that's awesome. But if the end result really is you want to have so much in revenue coming in, okay, well, there might be other ways to do that than just you doing sales. Maybe you hire salespeople, maybe you do other things. So what are you going to have at the end is important to understand. What is the end result? What is that going to get for you by achieving that goal? Because really, when you set a goal, there is a result you want to have by putting that goal in place. So it's not so much the goal as it is the end result that you want to have by accomplishing that goal. And that's important to look at, because you can have, like if you have a goal for profitability or certain revenue or things like that, you can get that by also eliminating costs in your business too. So it doesn't have to be just sales, but maybe you cut back on some costs and things, and it helps you hit those goals as well. But it's always realize what that end result is. Along with that, you want to ask yourself this question, and this is a really good one to always ask yourself also, is how will someone know when I have achieved that goal? That is huge. How will someone know when you have reached your goal? So it's someone outside of you. So if you, for your business, maybe you have an accountant or a mentor or a business coach or somebody that you're working with, how will they know when you have reached your goal? How are they going to know that? What is evidence for them that they can sit down and go, yes, you reached your goal? It could be a report that you have for your sales. It could be a list of your customers and you've reached the number of customers you want to have for the month. It could be your profit margins or revenue charts or those kinds of things as well. So what is an external way that somebody else will know that you have reached your goal? That will also help if you really think about that. Not only is it nice to have someone that you can use to hold you accountable, to help work with you and encourage you along that way, but it's also important so that they know that you've reached your goal, because that'll make sure that you really stick to it. And this happens all the time when we're wanting to have a goal, we want to get things going, and then we get moving along, and then we kind of like, yeah, maybe I won't really go for this goal, or So knowing that outcome and knowing what other people will see that'll be different is going to be important. Maybe what they see that's different is you have a new office, that you've moved. Maybe what they see is improved software or hardware in your business or tools you're using. Maybe they will see more employees in your business. That's the indication that you have reached your goal, is when you are able to hire those extra people, or whatever it is. But document that as well. What can you do to help somebody else outside of you realize when you've accomplished that goal? Because that'll really help you know you've actually accomplished your goal. So it's not about fudging the goal. It's about making sure that it is objective enough that you can make sure that you know when you've achieved it. And it doesn't hurt to have rewards if you want to hit those goals. Some people are motivated that if we don't hit this goal, then we've got to take a pay cut, or we've got to do something negative to encourage us to move forward. And other people prefer positive things, so like once we hit this certain goal, we can do something with our business. We can go on, take a vacation, or we can have a party, or something like that is fine as well. So those are good ways to incentivize as well, especially if you have a team, or even if it's just yourself, you want to motivate yourself to reach a certain revenue. That's a good thing to do as well. So just realize, make sure that your goals are specific. Make sure that your goals are they're measurable, so okay, so here's where we're at, here's where we want to be, this is what's going to make the difference for us. So adjust those goals so that you are hitting them where you want them to hit, and make sure that you really are going in the right direction. And it is good, if you're going to set goals for like a year or an extended period of time, then have milestones, have markers in there that can help you. So if for your business you want to, let's say you want to get to a certain number of customers that you're working with, like you're an agency or a consulting service or things like that, you want to get a certain number of projects or jobs that you're doing. So keep track of that. Put a way to measure it that is in place so that you know where you're going to. Usually a spreadsheet works really well, that's simple. Oftentimes you might have reporting tools inside the software that you're using to manage your business that'll help out. that you can use to run reports with or other things to help you know when you're going there. And then review it. They say that if you set goals and then you don't do anything with them, you have a chance to still hit those goals. Your mind is still thinking, you still have that intention out there, and you might actually be able to hit that goal. But the more that you take the time to review your progress and understand what's happening and make sure that if there are course corrections that you need to make as you're going along, all of those things are really good. So on a regular basis, make sure you're taking the time to review those goals. That'll help you a lot in making sure that you are on the right track. Because sometimes you get off track. Sometimes things come up. Sometimes there's challenges. Life happens. So the more that you can stay on that regular schedule of reviewing it will help you know. So a great example of that is like a sales goal. Most businesses set sales goals all the time this time of year. For this year, they want to hit a certain number of sales in dollar amounts. They want to sell a certain number of items. They want to reach a certain number of customers that they're working with, or contracts signed or whatever. So break that down. So if we know, okay, in January we're going to set this goal, by the end of December we're going to hit this. That means that if this is our goal, then halfway through the year we need to do a review that shows we're halfway there. So we should be 50% of our goal at least by the end of June, basically. So around that month. So basically you want to check that out and know what's going on with that. So thanks everybody for those. We appreciate that. If you have other questions on goal setting specifically for your business, let us know. That's what we're talking about today. And then break it down even into quarters. Like, okay, so this quarter we need to be here. You can even break it into monthly things and just go, okay, every month if I want to hit 100 new customers by the end of the year, what does that mean by month? So you'd have to divide it by 12 and figure out each month how many new customers you need to be averaging to make sure that you're going to be hitting your goal by the end of the month. This is really, really important because course corrections are an important part of your goal setting. Sometimes you get distracted. Sometimes you get veered off in a different direction. So you want to make sure that you are going in the right direction. And if you don't measure it until you get to the end of the year, you're going to be in trouble. And you might not hit your goal. In fact, you have a good chance of not hitting your goal if you don't measure it before the end of the year. So keep an eye on it. If you know what your average is every single month, then keep working on that. Okay? And this is important as well for online marketing. Have goals. Set goals in place. I want to grow my following to here. I want to get so many customers to follow me. I want to get my marketing or my engagement on my social sites up so that it's working better. All those things are going to be very effective and helpful for you. So even set goals in your marketing specifically of what is this going to do? I want to get to this point. I want to get my cost per click to this area. So, or whatever it is for your business, but work on those. Have those goals in place, especially on social media. How much interaction do you want? How many likes and comments and shares do you want each month on your social platforms that you're working on? Those are very, very important. We always recommend setting those goals so that you can have a way of measuring your progress and success. So whether that's your engagement rates, whether that's actual just numbers of likes and comments and shares, or number of followers, or whatever it is, document it, keep track of it so that you can make sure you're going in that direction. And then if you're not, if you realize, hey, we're falling way short of our goal, well, now we need to make course corrections. What does that mean? Are we going down the wrong path? Maybe we've picked the wrong method to get this done. Let's change tactics. Let's move into a different direction to help us in reaching our goal. Let's make sure that we can continue to move forward. So that's important too. And maybe you have to make some adjustments and fine tune some things as you go along. And that's really an important part of it is, the end result of what you're going to get by reaching your goal is super important. So always know that. But the journey is not just something that you do. The journey helps you tremendously along that path. And so always be aware of what you're learning and doing as you go along in that journey of reaching your goals. Because those little course corrections, those little adjustments are going to help you in the future as well. So be aware of that and all the little changes that you make, because it does help in your goal setting. So take some time, if you haven't already, and set some goals for your business. set up the goals. What are things that are going to help you reach where you want to be? So make sure that, again, that end result is what you want to have. Are these goals going to help me accomplish that end result that I want to have? And so long as they are, so long as they're moving you in that direction, then you are going to have a great experience and you're going to have a great year. Now, if that end result isn't quite there, then maybe you need to adjust how you're getting to hit those goals so that can help you out. So know the end results, figure out a way that someone else outside of you can know that you've accomplished your goals as well. That's very good to have observable results that someone else can see. That'll help you with knowing once you've reached it. Make sure they're specific goals. So they're not just general out there goals, but very specific, measurable goals. Okay, the SMART system, specific, measurable, they're actionable, that you can actually do something about it, that they are realistic goals, so that they're within the realm of abilities for you to accomplish, and that they're time-based, that you have a deadline or you have a timeline for what your expectation is in accomplishing those goals. So those are all very great ways to help you in improving your business. Set goals, have a plan. Use this in conjunction with your plan to help you to know what you need to do to move your business forward, to accomplish what you want to accomplish in your business. So thanks for joining us today. We appreciate everybody being on with us. We look forward to seeing you again next week for another awesome episode of Smart TV.